If I gave a fuck what y'all think I would be doing this? Welcome to the FMFU podcast, the podcast that's from me, for us. Vulgar but true, real and never fake. I'm your host, Reese, and I've got a lot of shit on my mind today, so let's get into it. Happy Friday, people, and welcome to episode 12 of the podcast that's from me, for us. The best thing about today is that it's the start of a 3-day weekend, All-Star weekend, and Black Panther is finally fucking here. All kinds of shit going on to tune into. So I'm glad we finally made it to good old Friday. I turned up crazy last weekend. So I'm looking forward to getting some relaxed time and definitely looking forward to seeing Black Panther. I will say this. I normally hit the Marvel Cinematic movies on the first night because, you know, I'd be a thirsty ass nigga when it comes to that MCU shit. But for Black Panther, I think my ass is going to wait until Sunday. And we all know that niggas don't know how to act when it comes to going to see certain movies. Last time I went to see Split on opening night, niggas was in there loud as a bitch, laughing at parts that I don't think were supposed to be funny, and making a big deal about nonsense. You could tell it was probably some high school kids or something like that. So, you know, for this movie, I'm not trying to deal with that. I got to be locked in for this damn movie. I got to hear what's going on, and I want to be able to enjoy it a little bit because, I mean, I see some people saying, oh, you know, it is just a Marvel movie. This ain't no Million Man March. But realistically, even though it's not, this is a bit of history we're about to be a part of. Like, this is really the first Black major movie, you know, superhero. Like, I mean, they had Blade. They also had Blank Man too, Spawn, and probably some others that I'm not mentioning. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so big, and it's incorporated with Disney for them to finally give a Black superhero that title, and it's about to be popping, man. Like, it's just great. I feel like it's fucking history. I don't care what nobody says. So I'm just really excited for it. We've been counting it down in the last few weeks on the podcast here, and it's finally here. So make sure y'all don't bootleg that shit. Make sure y'all go in there with your t-shirts or your dashiki on and check that shit out. But besides Black Panther, though, I'm also looking forward to the All-Star game and the All-Star festivities on TV. I think the dunk contest is going to be pretty good this year. And I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, the actual game will be competitive this time around because, you know, the Team LeBron versus Team Steph formats, I think that does help things out. And maybe we'll get to see a little bit of a, you know, Kyrie alley-oop to LeBron again or something. But to dial it back a little bit, going back into the week, I hope everyone had a great week. And also, I hope you had a happy Valentine's Day on Wednesday, if that's something that you celebrated. The best thing, and probably the most ironic thing about Valentine's Day, is that a lot of brand new Scorpio babies are being produced this week. So shout out to us, because we are the best. But even if you didn't have a companion to celebrate Valentine's Day with, I'm sure some of y'all weren't that miserable out there and find a way to enjoy yourselves. We all find a silver lining some type of way. The men who didn't celebrate probably just, you know, they just broke up with their girlfriends. They like Craig from Friday, where he said, well, I usually dump before the holidays, so I ain't got to buy her shit. So a lot of niggas who was single, they probably did that, broke up with their girl, got in a beef with their girls, and they had to buy her shit. You know, got the chance to save the little McDonald money, you know, the little McDonald check they had for the week. You know, let me get extra barbecue sauce for them fries, nigga. And no, I'm not paying an extra 30 cents. But it's a little different for the ladies, though. The ladies with no man, the ladies, I think they're a different story. And this is just my opinion. Maybe a little bit of facts, too. But the ladies are a different story because they take it so serious, and especially the ones that have little boys. So you got your ladies, and it's her and her son. So the ladies with the sons, they probably took the time out on Monday or Tuesday before Valentine's Day. They took their son to go get him fresh, go get him a little haircut. Probably threw a part in his head and all that shit too. Went out, bought him a new outfit, maybe a new little Nike outfit, or some new J's or something. Got her son real fly. And then she probably went and was like, what, I'm gonna get myself fly too. And then she probably bought a box of chocolates and some roses or some shit. And then what she probably did was probably took all of that shit with her, took her son to the restaurant, and really just did all of this so she can have the waiter take a pic of it all and then post it online with the caption, "The only Valentine I need in the world is my king." We all know that every year Facebook is filled with plenty of statuses about, "All I need in this world is my son, aka my king," or "me and my three." Them posts are all over the fucking place. So I'm assuming some of y'all chicks who posted that had a nice day to Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid. But women crack me up at times with the portrayal of their kids on social media, especially, like I just said, when they have a little boy. You ever notice how a chick will have a son with their baby dad, right? Then after her and the baby dad split up, it seems like she dresses the son how the baby dad dresses because she missed that nigga. Or, the moms will dress their son how they want their next dude to be. In a sense, it seems like they're trying to use their son to fill that void of not having a man. Women have tried to keep that void filled with their son, aka my king, as far back as you can think. And new mothers will continue to do so in the future. But in reality, that's not going to work. They really need companionship, which is something that their son can't provide. And in some cases, well, the lack thereof needing intimacy, it's going to often lead them down a couple paths. Well, one path is a bunch of bad, I think Fabulous called it this, situationships. Y'all know what those are, where they're fucking with a nigga, but that nigga ain't giving no title. And, he got all the benefits of a relationship. You gonna cook for him. You gonna do things for him. And he even has that pussy and mouth benefit. Oh. Or they'll go down path 2, where she gets tired of dealing with all these quote unquote situationships. And either she tries to quote unquote take control and turns into a ta-ta-ta-licious and claims she only need a man for one thing and one thing only, the dick. Some chicks don't go through path 1, then path 2. Some go straight to path 2 and start popping that thing all through the city. Remember, there's usually a bad breakup or something that drives them to be in thoughts. Remember season 2 of Insecure? Remember how the situation went down with Lawrence and Issa and how they broke up, and then she hit us with this whole, "Oh, I'm on my whole phase shit. I'm about to be out here fucking all the niggas." Well, now Issa was trying to be on that whole phase shit, but ultimately we all know where she wanted to be. Right back with that nigga Lawrence, and for them to work that shit out. You see how when he came in there and was going to get the rest of his shit, and then he threw that dick at her on the couch for a quick one before he dipped out. That's how that shit goes down with most of y'all chicks as well. Some of these chicks would be, quote unquote out there and then put this facade up that I'm doing me. Fuck niggas, get money. All the women independent, throw your hands up at me. Whatever song you want to use. My point is, regardless of whatever facade these women put up, it may not be the right time, but all women, I don't care race, religion, color. All women want to be in a strong, healthy, and loving relationship. People listen and hear me out. I know there might be a few who are listening, or the fellas, if you're listening, you probably know a chick that would probably say something around the lines that might be like, boo-boo, I don't want or need no man right now. I wouldn't have wanted Lawrence back. Girl, what he think he talking about? Bullshit. Everybody in the world wants to be loved. When Webby screamed, INDEPENDENT, do you know what that mean, man? Him and Boosie Badass were bigging up the women who were able to accomplish goals on their own and be successful in their careers. Basically, the women who have ownership in their own property, own cars, can dress fly, and be able to take care of themselves without the help of any nigga. That's great because no woman should ever be so dependent on a man that they can't think for themselves or be in a predicament to not make moves on their own in the time when they aren't with someone. It's also very attractive, as most men in this world like a woman who is a go-getter and don't like women who play the puppet role per se. Ladies, most men don't want a woman who was like the chick who was arranged to a married Prince Akeem in Coming to America, which is a classic by the way. What Eddie Murphy say to her? Bark like a dog. She was like, arr! He said, bark like a really big dog. She was like, woof. Then he made her hop on one foot. So the bitch is hopping around talking about woof, woof, woof. Bitch couldn't even think for herself. It was only trained to obey. So ultimately, it's good for women to be independent in that sense of having your own and being an independent thinker. The problem is that most of our black women take that word independent and use it as a form of empowerment when their ass is really lonely. They're frauds. They basically deflect their loneliness by being quick to throw that independent shit out there. They think it means they don't need or want a man when in reality, they know they do. Throwing out shit such as, I can do bad by myself. That doesn't help your case either. Phrases and different shit like that only means you're still deflecting, and in reality, if it came down to it, you probably not going to do bad by yourself because yo badass would probably end up getting help from someone, whether it be your mother, your father, your aunt, whoever. Someone is going to help your bad by yourself ass. In my eyes, saying that makes it seem like you're actually more dependent than you're trying to put off. Everyone in this world should be able to be independent on their own to a degree, but you can only grow so much by yourself. Keep this in mind. Beyonce made the song Single Ladies, left the fucking studio to go lay up with her man, and had all y'all chicks in the club dancing in a circle with each other, not trying to give nobody no play, talking about fuck these niggas. If you had to put her, I mean, she got a man and she making that song. Like, she tricking y'all. But think about it like this. Let's say you, as an independent woman, let's say, you have your own house. You have your own car. You're successful in business. But let's say you have a shitty ass attitude. So, being that you're so successful, and let's just say you're rich, just to make the situation sound even better, you're probably at a point in your life where it's like, who gonna check me, boo-boo? The reality? Probably no one. Because let's say it's a situation where your family isn't as successful as you. They're not gonna tell you how to act. Your employees, they're not gonna want to piss you off because you could affect their raises if you're the boss. No one wants their money to be played with. So you're basically untouchable. I think there was a movie like that one time. I think it was with Gabrielle Union. It was a movie. I think Idris Elba was in it too. I can't think of the name, but like we know how she be playing them like parts, like the snooty, black woman. And ultimately, when you see that, and I don't know if ladies, I don't know if you think that, but I know us men, the first thing we think is, what does she be needing the most to mellow herself out? The dick. But but in all seriousness, if you are in a position like that, and let's say you had that nigga on your side, not a side nigga, but one that's on your side, that's gonna be with you, and he's one that's who able to break down those walls, figuratively speaking and literally, wink wink, someone to have that open communication with and be able to let you know when you're wrong and help you fix it. Who wouldn't want that? Plus, most women, they don't want their son to be their Valentine. And if they do, saying, oh, my son, I love him so much. Yes, you're my Valentine, you're my sweetie. They would want two Valentines because they know damn well they want a nigga who is all theirs and all about them. They want to be taken out on dates and, getting shit sent to the house or the job and them new Lubies getting sent to the crib or, them fucking plane tickets that's going to take you out the All-Star weekend, flying from wherever in your city to LAX, shit like that you can stun on the gram. All chicks want that. And even with basic shit, some of y'all chicks don't even take the trash out. So who going to take it out for you if you ain't got no man? You're independent, but you still need somebody for something. So if you don't take it out, what you gonna do? You gonna ask the next door neighbor or something? The problem, if you ask this next door neighbor to take your trash out, what's gonna happen? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you ask me, hey, I need you to take my trash out, I'm gonna think you trying to throw me some ass. So,
Oh.
word of advice, just don't do it, yo. All right. So I went on this whole tangent about how all women ultimately want a man. But there's one thing that needs to be considered, regardless of what the situation that you're in is. Just because you chicks all want a man, or you are in your Issa Rae hoe phase from Insecure, until you get a man, or whatever crazy path you have going on. There's too many people in the world to name them all. You can't immediately get a man until you have something called self love. Well, what is self love? Let's define it today. Let's put our caps on. Self love is defined as regard for one's own well being and happiness, chiefly considered as a desirable characteristic rather than a narcissistic characteristic. Now, I did some research on the topic and ideas of self love, and of course, I had to get a proper definition because there's lots of times in society where we hear a word or a phrase and it's improperly defined within the culture. Like, typically, you'll think it's supposed to be a way because we've all been saying it a certain way or all been defining something a certain way, but ultimately, that's never the case. So, you always want to get the facts. So, with this example, I'll be the first to tell you, but when I first heard self love, I immediately would think more of a narcissistic type approach. Just you care about yourself, your looks, you're cocky, me, selfish, shit like that. That's what I was thinking, and I know I'm not alone on this. Like, let it be some chicks in the club, and then, she tell her friend, like, girl, I just been going through so much. I just need some self love, And then let's say, a nigga at the bar, like, man, let me get a couple double shots of Patron and whatever the lady's drinking. And then, her friend will probably tell her, like, girl, forget what these haters think. You better go on with that nigga you just met tonight and put it on that nigga, girl. Nah, hitting random niggas from the bar just to get your little nut off isn't what self love is. It's not about something that necessarily makes you feel good, but it's more so acting on what you need rather than what you want. If you can turn away from something that feels good, aka random nigga dick, and stay focused on what you need, you might not be stuck in these situations that you get in. Situations like, situationships, being a booty call only, dick appointment only, whatever the case may be that you're in. Another point I saw online, because there were plenty of them, so I only wanted to talk about a few. Another point I saw was that you have to protect yourself by bringing the right people in your life. There's been plenty of times where there are friends who like to be around only because it benefits them. You got the car in high school, you've got your parents got money, so you buying people meals, anything like that. And they're not your real friends. And some of them snake ass friends, even if they're just using you for those benefits, some of those snake ass friends might even take pleasure in your pain or loss. They're the type of people that, they need to leech onto something to feel like they have any sort of life. And with that being the case, they choose to leech onto you because you have this life. And by leeching onto you and being this negative thing, being this negative drain on you, they suck all of your positive energy away. So having not enough support around you is something that can be detrimental to your mental health and can even make you feel very insecure at times. So speaking of insecure, and I mean the word insecure, not the show. I know I talked about the show earlier. I saw the craziest shit earlier this week. Like, this shit surfaced, I think, a couple years ago, but it threw me for a loop again because, well, it's 2018, I think, when it first popped up and was talked about and then forgotten about, and it was like 2009. And, I forgot about it. So it resurfaced this week in a new way. And if anybody who knows me, and even the people that's been friends with me and know me personally for, 10 plus years, like, one thing I tell you, if you don't know, I'm not the type of person that has a weak stomach at all. Like, I could eat a cheeseburger and watch a woman give birth at the same damn time. Like, that shit doesn't bother me. Like, I don't get creeped out. Like, But there's certain things that creep me out, and when they do, I get this like weird tingly feeling in my legs when it does. Like it's like my legs feel weird. It's like very hard to describe. But the only time it really happens is when I think it comes down to like people getting surgeries or work done or shit that gets discussed on TV, or things to do with people like changing their skin tone. So earlier in the week, a picture of Sammy Sosa pops up on the internet, and he's dressed up in a fucking cowboy outfit. It's like a red hat, a white shirt with the red buttons, and he was posing with his wife. So most people are like, oh, okay, Sammy Sosa in the pic with his wife. The problem with this pic is that Sammy Sosa is white as fuck. Like now for some of my listeners, maybe somebody doesn't know baseball or, from the past. Okay. Let me bring it back. Sammy Sosa he played in Major League Baseball player, and he got in the league in 1989, and I think he retired in like 2007, and he was on various teams, and he was a home run machine. And he was also one of the athletes under investigation for use of PEDs, which is performance enhancing drugs, during the year of 1998, along with Mark McGwire. And that's when they were hitting them home runs, and they were trying to go for the record that year, and everybody was talking about it. So the problem with him looking white as fuck is that Sammy Sosa was a dark-skinned Dominican man. Like, this dude was dark. Now, that's not to be an insult, but you're that dark, and then you go from being the color you were, and now you're basically white as a fucking ghost. Like, what's up with your pigmentation? Like, what's going on? So, like, he looks so much different that I don't even think he would even be recognizable by shit. Maybe not even diehard baseball fans. Like, I'm not a big baseball guy, so honestly, if they pulled up a pic of him with his skin nowadays, if it was dark, I probably wouldn't have known. But diehard baseball fans should know. I don't think diehard baseball fans would recognize this guy. Like, it's that crazy. So I stated earlier that this has surfaced before, and yeah, I did look it up. It was 2009, and he appeared at a music awards show, and everybody was scratching their heads like, who the hell is this? And then, like, when they found out, they're like, well, why does he look so fucking different? So the buzz went on so crazy about this drastic change. He decided to go on this Spanish language TV station, and basically, he was just denying, the rumors, because it was rumors. People were like, was he sick? Did he hate being dark? Like, what was the deal? So basically, he went on there just, to deny that, he said he wasn't sick. He didn't say that, he hated being dark. And he also denied that he had, rhinoplasty, however you say it, plasty, whatever it is. And then he also made sure to throw out, because he was under the investigation for the steroids, that the skin tone changing wasn't the result of steroid use. So Sosa went to explain, and he goes to say that he uses a bleaching cream before going to bed, and it whitens his skin. And he's quoted as saying that the cream softens my skin, and it also bleached it some. And then he also said that I'm not racist, and I live my life happily. Now, I'm not sure what type of cream Sammy Sosa is using that has his face that soft, that is changing his whole appearance, but he must be taking a bath in that shit or something, because this drastic change is the same equivalency. Maybe worse. I don't know. White is white. It's got to be pretty much the same to Michael Jackson without the plastic surgery. Like, she got a light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson got a dark skin. It's a total drastic change in color. And Sammy telling us that he hasn't had any whitening or procedures done, but a skin softener cream has done it? That's fucked up, man. This is just a prime example of needing self-love. Sammy Sosa wasn't an ugly cat. Dominican cat, whatever. And the thing is, it's not like he was out here, he couldn't get no woman or nobody to love him. He's already married and he's got 6 kids. So shit like this makes you wonder, what the hell happened to him for this to occur? I guess the overall in summary is that this is the reason why you need self-love, so you won't focus so much on a narcissistic idea and be so obsessed with looks that you go so drastic to change your appearance. Self-love and be you, and everything else will work out. Sisters, brothers, mothers, and fathers, I welcome you here today to the FMFU podcast congregation. I'm not going to go into full Pastor Brown mode today, but there is something that people need to realize. Now, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I am a big believer in good things come to those who strive for it, and good things come to those who work hard for it. Now, what I mean by this is that we have to continue to keep our faith and believe, because without faith, or the belief, nothing is attainable or achievable. The thing that people fail to realize in life is that prayer does not combat laziness. Think about a simple task you do every day. Something as simple as driving. Being able to drive starts with you, as you have faith in yourself and being able to drive because it is something you believe you can do and also something you want to do. If you didn't believe you could drive, then you wouldn't get in the car with your driving instructor back in the day during driving school and learn how to drive, right? You'd be like, hell no, nigga, I can't drive. But since you believed you could eventually do it if you didn't know how, and now, in the present, you've already taken that action how many ever years ago and obtained your driver's license, your actions prove to the DMV of your state that you had the skills and you were awarded your driver's license. Prayer and faith needs to be something that happens, but as stated earlier, prayer doesn't combat laziness. If you want to make more money, buy a new car, or lose weight, you can't pray for it all without making the necessary action for it to happen. The idea and the action that should happen, at least in my opinion, is that you exercise, attempt to eat better to lose your weight, and you pray that your hard work works out, and you also pray that you become healthy and live a long lifetime to be there for your future grandkids or future nieces and nephews. If you want to make more money, a bag of money won't fall out of the air by saying a prayer. Don't wish for a bag of money to fall out of the air on Facebook, because 9 times out of 10, it won't happen. Go out and apply for a job, get a trade, learn something new so you can make more money. Then be thankful for that and pray for more good things to come and more guidance. The saying is, good things come to those who wait. Well, in my mentality, I think good things come to those who go get it and are thankful to the man above they got it. That's like these sports athletes that are quick to thank God after winning the championship. I think Aaron Rodgers said it a few years ago when Seattle snuck by him and got back to the Super Bowl. He was like kind of criticizing Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson was just like, it's all God, man, and he's a big believer in faith. And Aaron Rodgers was like, does God care about the outcome of a football game? Now, I bring that up because the other day I saw Rodgers' comments pretty much being repeated the other day online. And it had me thinking like, damn, you just shitting on the people's shout out in their time of celebration and excitement. But ultimately, I think when sports athletes say they want to thank God, I don't think it's necessarily because they're like, thank you, God, for picking us to win the Super Bowl or picking to win this game. I think it's more so on the lines of, thank you for blessing me with these gifts and abilities to be able to do what I need to do in life to put me in this position to help my team I'm on win based on my physical attributes and my previous hard work. Remember, people, it's about action along with faith. A wise man once said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and promises and plans must be put into action, or else they are deemed useless.
It's the FMFU podcast, bitch.
Let us have a moment of silence so we can say a quick prayer. Amen. Sorry, y'all. I had to say a quick prayer for these white people. Let's take it back. It was a sad day in Boston on Sunday. Hell, if you count the Super Bowl, these past 2 Sundays have been fucking sad. But anyways, on Sunday, the new look Cleveland Cavaliers come in and busted Trader Kyrie and the Boston Celtics asses to ruin Paul Pierce's jersey retirement night. Man, was I hype. But despite getting blown out 121-99, the jersey retirement night was held after the game, and surprisingly, not really, it wasn't even televised nationally like Kobe's was. I guess Draymond was right when he told Paul Pierce, "You not Kobe, you don't get that love." But anyways, that wasn't the worst of the L's because the biggest one was something I noticed later. I just don't get it. And as y'all know, I hate repeating myself. But call me Nostradamus because this shit is so crazy that I just spoke about it. Like, literally just spoke about this shit last episode 11. It has happened again. Another Black History Month fumble from our fellow people of non-color. You don't want to know what really grinds my gears? People that can't get a fucking clue. So what happened, Reese? The fucking Boston Police Department decides, oh, we want to tweet something for Black History Month to celebrate. I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a nice gesture or if someone was trying to be an asshole or whatever it is. But let me read you this tweet. It goes as follows. In honor of Black History Month, we pay tribute to Celtics legend Red Auerbach for being the first NBA coach to draft a black player in 1950, filled an all-African-American starting five in 1964, and hire the league's first African-American head coach, Bill Russell, in 1966. How in the fuck are you honoring a white man for doing something that all white people should have been fucking doing? You chose to honor a white coach for Black History Month, which is our fucking month, for not discriminating against blacks and hiring the best player coach for the fucking job? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what kind? I don't get it, man. Like, it's shit, I'm laughing, but I'm just like, I can't believe this shit. Like, do people not don't people fucking understand? Like, it's gotta be a black cop in that fucking police department. They won't be like, hey, bro, yo, we want to tweak this, man. What you think? And what are you gonna say? No, motherfucker. Honor Bill Russell. He got a goddamn statue. Why don't you honor him as being the first black player coach? You gonna honor the fucking white man that hired him for not being a discriminatory bitch? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't get it, man. Like, what kind of idiots are you, Boston Police? And who is running your fucking Twitter page? I can't fucking believe it, man. I'm really at a loss of words when it comes to this shit. Like, I'm not even gonna say too much. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna let y'all think about it and marinate on that. And y'all probably gonna be like me. Y'all probably just gonna shake your head like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Like, if anybody who's listening doesn't have a clue or thinks what the Boston PD tweeted out is okay, or if you know someone who doesn't understand or thinks it's okay, go back and refer to my breakdown on episode 11 and let them have a listen. Let them understand that not only is it willful ignorance to blatantly not want to understand what the big deal is, but that you should also put the pause on them and saying that they aren't racist because they have black friends will not save them from getting that ass beat. I will say this though. All the heat that comes from up here with some of this race shit, the mayor definitely does try to step in and smooth things over. Now, I don't know if that's just political because, we watch too much Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. So who knows what goes on behind fucking closed doors. But as far as on paper, I'll get a fucking mayor credit. So the day after this shit, which was on Monday, so he made a comment and also the tweet got deleted. So his comments were, yesterday's tweet from the Boston Police Department was completely inappropriate and a gross misrepresentation of how we are honoring Black History Month in Boston. We are celebrating the accomplishments and limitless contributions of the Black community to our city and the entire country, from Harriet Tubman to great leaders of today such as Chief Justice Ireland, artists like New Edition and Michael Bivins, powerful activists including Mel King and Superintendent Lisa Holmes, the first African-American woman to lead the Boston Police Academy training program. I am personally committing to the people of Boston that we will always honor our Black leaders, activists, and trailblazers with the respect they deserve, not just in February, but every day and every month of the year. Now, while as a Black man, I appreciate those comments, it just still doesn't excuse it, man. And I mean, you've got the mayor who's saying that Lisa Holmes was the first African American woman to lead the Boston Police Academy training program, and the fucking police decide to honor a white guy for not being discriminatory towards blacks in the 50s and 60s? Just throw the whole motherfucking Twitter page away, man. I just don't fucking get it, bro. On that note, man, I got one last thing to say. I said last week, and you say you want to repeat yourself, but fuck you. I said last week that I don't believe we are the minorities anymore, and the study's only picking a year. I think they're just picking 2050 to assume that, okay, well, blacks and anybody with color, they're not the minorities. Whites are going to be the minorities. Before they said it was 2050. Now I'm seeing today, it's only in a week span, they're saying that 2060 is the year for people of color not being minorities anymore. Like, you see the agenda of how shit just keeps getting pushed back further. Like, it's just crazy. But we're going to continue fighting this fight. And ultimately, with the right tools, we're going to always prevail. Like DJ Khaled said, they don't want us to be great. They don't want us to shine. But one thing he need to let them motherfuckers know, don't ever play yourself. Thank you for listening to the FMFU podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to receive all the latest podcasts when they release. Also be sure to follow FMFU on Twitter and Instagram at FMFU_podcast. Remember, people, if no one is going to be honest with you, your boy Reese will. And that's always. Until next time, fuckers.